If I ask you to paint a picture of the post-COVID world, I'm sure it will be a dark, bleak and a grey scenario. Because before coronavirus, everything was so comfortable, it was so familiar, but the pandemic is forcing us to get out of this comfort zone and venture into the unknown and the unexplored areas. Like everyone else, even I was very anxious and worried about what to expect from this future. But I have found a secret way to see this future as colorful and exciting. And that secret way is to look at it through the lens of a marketer. Now, as marketers, it is second nature for us to look for the positive, however small, however minuscule, in any product or service. It is our job to paint a picture of possibilities and benefits, to figure out reasons to like something, to prove its merits, so that you, as a customer, get excited to give it a try at least. So here I am today as a marketer, ready to prove the merits of the post-COVID world, or as everyone loves calling it, the new normal. Now, in order to prove the merits of this new world, what I did is I thought of it as a product or an assignment that I had to market to you. So I poked at this new normal from all possible angles, from the top, bottom, left, right, everywhere, just to see if it had any positive, unique or exciting aspects. I was pleasantly surprised to see that it had enough benefits that could be shared with you today. I have also identified its USP, the unique selling proposition. So now with all this background work in place, I am finally ready to market the new normal to you, to convince you to look forward to it, not just with trepidation, but with some amount of excitement. I'm not saying everything is going to be rainbows and sunshine. What I am saying is that this new normal can be good looking if we just look at it from another perspective. So in other words, I am here to market hope for the future. I know it is a little ambitious, but it's worth a shot, right? Now, what is my marketing objective? By the end of the talk, I wish to hear you say that, this post-COVID world seems to be okay. I think it will be exciting. Why don't you bring it on? Who is going to be my target audience? It is going to be anyone who is worried about this future, who's looking at it with skepticism and fear and with a lot of question marks. Now, the most important thing. What is the USP of the new normal? Now, the answer is that it is not the new normal. It is the normal for the new us. Let me repeat this once more. It is the normal for the new us. Just think about it. It is not the normal life that has changed, has it? It is we. We have changed. We have improved and become better versions of ourselves. We become like upgraded versions of ourselves, the version 2.0, if you will. In this new upgraded avatar, we have become more independent, more health and hygiene conscious. We are now aware of what constitutes healthy eating, what type of foods will help boost immunity, what exercises to do, maybe what kind of preventive medications to take, and the list goes on. We've got a mountain of information from so many different sources, be it the government, the WHO, CDC, our parents, friends, basically every fellow human being. Because of this information, we've almost all become PhD level experts on COVID-19. I'm exaggerating, I know, but not by much, In the new upgraded 2.0 version of ourselves, we are also getting used to increased levels of convenience. Think of remote working, zero commuting, ordering a lot of things online. We are even consulting our doctors online. Now, the best example is in 2019 in Britain, less than 1% of the medical consultations took place online in the entire year versus 100% of them taking place online in just the 2 or 3 months of the lockdown. Now, all these changes that happened, they didn't scare us, did they? Because they just happened. They took place one day at a time, slowly, subtly, and without scaring us. So, it will be very normal for the new us to expect health, hygiene, safety, and convenience from every other person and business around us. Be it our neighborhood kirana store, or our office, our shopping malls, or even our friend's place. Research has said that 77% of the consumers said they're going to be cautious about safety, health, and hygiene. 62% have said that they're willing to even switch to a brand which offers better product safety levels. So, for the life after COVID to be normal, all it has to do is adapt itself to the new expectations and wants of the new us. If it actually manages to do that, it is going to be a cleaner, safer, more healthy, and more convenient future. Isn't that exciting and worth looking forward to? Now, if you are not yet convinced, don't worry. I have some more benefits of the normal for the new us to share with you. Let's begin with the first one. It is the future which has come early, or it has come forward. Now take a look at this forward. I'm sure almost all of us have received this particular forward, or at least some variation of it during the lockdown. Obviously, this was a humorous take on the year 2020, but it held a tiny kernel of truth. It does feel like this year is getting wasted because we had so many plans for the year which we couldn't execute for obvious reasons, right? But don't be too sad about it though. Even if the year 2020 itself is sort of getting wasted, it has managed to bring the future forward by at least 2 years. Microsoft's Satya Nadella, he recently said that 2 years worth of digital transformation have taken place within just 2 months. The best example is Zoom. Its market capitalization surpassed that of the top 7 airlines combined, all during the period of the lockdown. Video conferencing was such an obscure little activity that only some of us did before COVID. And look at the results now. Now, this preponement of the future is not restricted only to the digital arena. Plant-based meats, they saw an increase of 63% in their sales during the lockdown. Facebook has actually put up a requirement for director of remote work. We would have actually laughed at this concept and found it alien in the pre-COVID times, but it is happening now. Now, all these trends were already underway in the pre-COVID era. The pandemic has simply brought that future into the present by accelerating its pace. So, indirectly, don't you think that the pandemic has saved us 2 years of our lives or helped us achieve things 2 years faster? The next benefit is that it is not going to be a regular normal. It is going to be a smarter normal because we are smarter than before. We have become smarter at managing homes along with our offices, that too without any help and in the least amount of time. We have become smart workers instead of hard workers because we now know how to get work done remotely, quickly, and with the least amount of hassles. We have become smarter travelers. We know whether we need to travel at all or no. And if we need to travel, what's the quickest, fastest and safest way to do so? We have learned a lot of new technology skills. Our comfort level with technology has gone up. We have become smarter and quicker at decision making, especially at work. A gentleman had recently said in a McKinsey report that where we used to take 5 decisions in a month earlier, we are now taking 5 decisions in a day. And this is true for all companies, big or small. We have become smarter and quicker at pivoting also to change with the changing circumstances. A US-based retailer was planning to launch curbside delivery pre-COVID. They had thought it will take about 18 months to complete the activity. During the lockdown, they actually finished it in 2 days. A lot of hardware stores, because they were shut down during the lockdown, they started selling hand sanitizer dispensers and thermometers and masks and other essential goods just to keep the revenue coming in. We have also become smarter in terms of our skills. Most of us have been skilled in newer areas during the lockdown. We have upgraded or retrained in certain existing skills. Isn't all of this adding to the smartness quotient of the future? And a smarter future is brighter, right? The third benefit is that we are now future pandemic ready. Newspapers and research reports alike have said that the main reason why Southeast Asian countries managed to control and respond to the COVID pandemic was their prior experience with the SARS epidemic, to the extent that Taiwan is said to be in a state of near readiness for the last 17 years. That is why they managed to execute 124 different action items within just 5 weeks of the pandemic. Now, the current COVID pandemic is similarly preparing us for any future pandemics, because we have now learned so many new habits, we have experienced so many new things like the lockdown, hand hygiene, respiratory hygiene, health focus. We've learned how to set up hospitals quickly, all of this. So the government and us together will be able to shrug off and face any future pandemics quickly and more confidently. The next benefit is that innovation pace has gone up dramatically during the lockdown. So Mahindra had launched a new design for a ventilator within 48 hours, in spite of it not being the area of expertise or them having any experience in it. Wipro converted its Pune facility into a 450-bed COVID hospital within just 4 weeks. The biggest reason why innovation took place so quickly is because people were very forgiving during these uncertain times. They were willing to try even beta versions so long as you created and delivered them immediately. I think that was the main reason why 152 new players entered the hand sanitizer segment in India in the month of March alone. Because people are okay if you do course correction and make changes as you go along. So this is the best time for brands, businesses, and even us as individuals, especially those of us who have lost our jobs, to try out something new, to try concepts that we had always wanted to try. Think of this as the proof of concept phase and just go with it. People will support you in these uncertain times. The other reason why innovation has happened so quickly is because decision making has been given to the frontline people across companies, and that is also a very morale boosting practice. Now the next benefit is about job openings. We have actually now got an ocean of job openings instead of a pool of job openings. If we lost our jobs in the pre-COVID era, we would be stuck looking for a job only in our city or in our country. But now, all those boundaries have disappeared. We can now look for a job anywhere in the world because of remote working. Companies have now got proof that remote working indeed works. So they have set up policies for it, separate departments for it. They have now also looked at technological advancements related to remote working. And anybody can apply for a job anywhere without relocating. So for companies also, they are now getting an access to a much wider talent pool than before. And the talent pool also has expanded to include women who had to drop out of their careers to take care of families, and now they can jump back in because of the flexibility that remote working offers. Disabled people who faced mobility issues earlier can now also apply for these same jobs because of remote working. The other thing is that companies have now moved from head count to skill count, where they are now considering the number of the different skills that are needed to finish a particular job versus the number of people needed for it. So if I lose my job and I don't have the expertise for another job, but I do have certain skills that will help me finish part of the new job, I can still apply, right? So all we need to do is just take a stock of our skills, brush up wherever needed, and start applying to companies near and far. The probability of us getting a job has gone up dramatically. The last benefit that I'd like to share is relationships. Our relationships have become so much richer with our families, friends, and even with our colleagues. We have connected on an emotional level with everybody during the lockdown. And this has continued even as the lockdown is easing off. So we are now calling friends over at home, those smaller groups, just to play games, have good food and a good time generally, instead of going out with friends. So calling friends over was already gaining popularity in the pre-COVID times, but the pandemic has again accelerated this and brought it into the mainstream. So this makes for a very warm and welcoming future, don't you think? Let's do a quick recap of the normal for the new us. We are now having more fun with our friends and family. We are more emotionally connected to them. We have a very high probability of working for an international company and earning in foreign currency, all the while working in our pajamas. We have become smarter. We have more freedom to take decisions and to try out new ideas at work. We are enjoying a future that has come 2 years early, and we are future pandemic ready. Now, how cool is that? What more do we want from the future? Are you finally convinced that this is a future to look forward to? Shall we bring it on and let the adventure unfold? What do you say? Thank you.